Okay, we're live.
Yeah. And one of the aldermen go on Facebook. Okay.
I'm gonna be there when I go back to it.
We on both?
Yeah.
We on both.
Which it's still not there.
I don't hear you.
So listen, how do we get it?
I'm on YouTube.
Go to live.
Oh, you still have to press real live.
I did. It said we're live.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
On there?
Oh, now I got it.
Okay, on Facebook too?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube.
Amy was supposed to be getting some.
Oh, okay. What you get?
I don't see it on, I don't see it on Facebook. Like, I just pulled up City of Petal page.
You don't see a camera.
Camera.
Oh.
We'd say, hey, Miranda, thank you for letting us know we are now live on YouTube. You folks, I will end this with a warning. And I guess I should ask Miranda, how's the volume? And so anyway, you are now part of the first Facebook meeting that's ever taken place on YouTube for the City of Petal. The gremlin we're working on, we're also trying to have a simulcast on Facebook. So I've told it, so my warning is that that microphone right there, if you're whispering in the back, there's a good chance everybody will hear you. So anyway, we went from that nobody can hear us to everybody's hearing everybody. So anyway, keep that in mind, and we will get this meeting started. I think, let me know about the Facebook.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, my wife's actually asking why we're not on Facebook.
It's online on YouTube, it's not online on Facebook.
Yeah.
Correct.
Sure.
I'm gonna text, we're already running late. So one of the reasons I'll tell the folks, the few people that are watching us on YouTube, one of the things we did was we had a property hearing and it ran late. So that is why we are starting right now. And everything you love. The guy that set it up did a great job. Actually, a pedal guy, Stephen George, appreciative of his efforts getting us going. We kind of wanted something where we could just hit a few buttons and do that. We're going to phase away ultimately from Facebook and have it on YouTube, but we were going to try to simulcast tonight, see if you can get it going for us. The reasoning behind that, obviously, we would like Facebook to be more of an immediate information source for people, as opposed to you having to flip through 10 meetings to find that there's a boil water notice or some safety issue that we're trying to get out to you.
I clicked.
And these are the gremlins that Alderman Brickson mentioned. So we didn't want to disappoint.
Thank you, Mayor.
Ultimately, you'll see there's a camera here. We're just using that one right there for this meeting. But at some point, we can actually get more interaction. But I think the audio going forward will be much better.
Okay.
Anybody know any jokes? How's the weather the rest of the week?
That's okay, thanks.
Harold, anything you need to say?
Okay.
Nothing to report, Mayor.
He said just put a post that it's gonna be on YouTube and he'll get it.
You gonna post it?
Yes.
Direct any complaints to Melissa Clark will be here, or Miss Melissa, our clerk, will be here tomorrow, so. I'll be out all day. All right, let's go ahead and get this started. We're good? Good. Roll is all the aldermen are here. Melissa Martin and Rocky Eaton, our attorney. I'll ask Alderman Lott if he would lead us in the pledge and prayer to get started.
Father God, we thank you for your love for us, the way you protect us. And Father, I pray that you will be with us in this meeting, that everything that we say and do will be pleasing to you. Help us as we plan ahead. We thank you for our city. I thank you for the residents who live here, for all those who make us a very special place to live. And Lord, I pray that in the days ahead, that we'll be open to things that we need to do, that we'll be open to what the people tell us, but at the same time, we always will put you first in everything. First in Jesus' name I pray.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Actually, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda.
Randy, what is that specifically?
I would like to address the development on William Street.
And from what Melissa said, that would go under general business. All right, Melissa?
Uh-huh.
Okay, is there a second for that?
I'll second.
That would be number 17 on general business, if it were to pass. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? On general business. Let's do that again. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes. 4-3 will be added as number 17. 17. You know, like I said, we are actually on YouTube. One of the advantages as well, once we get our new website, this would actually go and instantly go over to our website and be able to store for future viewing as well. But let's get into this. We've got the consent agenda part of the meeting. Number 1, request to approve the minutes of the special meeting on June 28th.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, that was all unanimous.
All that can be under one vote unless they want to take some of it out of there.
Okay, Melissa says we can actually handle this all, and so I asked, is there a motion to
Motion
approve
to.
2 through 5?
Yeah.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
We do these quicker than the property hearings, don't we? Let's go down to proclamations and resolutions. Request to adopt resolution assessing cleanup fees to property located at 210 East Central Avenue.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Number 7, request to adopt resolution assessing cleanup fees to property located at 400 Smith Street.
Motion.
Motion and second, Bullock with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 8, request to adopt resolution assessing cleanup fees to property located at 300 West 7th Avenue. Motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 9, request to adopt resolution assessing cleanup fees to property located at 410 Smith Street.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Number 10, request to adopt resolution assessing cleanup fees to property located at 214 East 6th Avenue.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, there are no bids and quotes.
Well,
No.
we need, on the resolutions, we need to add resolutions from the public hearing we just had, like the 10-day things.
You
Go
got
ahead.
On these?
Yeah, the ones that we did 10 days.
I make a motion we.
You want to be individuals?
They don't have to be.
Why don't you just, read each address?
Okay. Part of the property hearing was 105 Dixie Avenue, 121 North Railroad Street, 32 Pinnacle Point, 309 Ford Drive, 114 Cedar Street, 206 Walnut Drive, 100 and 110 Leeville Road, 929 Highway 42, And then 309 West Central, 403, 405, and 417 West Central, 400 West Central, Highway 11, 920 Highway 11. That is it. Is it a motion to approve the amount of days and time that we gave for
So moved.
action? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Slow down, man. Alrighty, under general business, number 11, request to accept resignation of Kayla Thompson in the police department effective 7/13.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Number 12, request to set planning commission hearing date of August 10th, 2021 at 6 PM for property located at 804 South Main Street. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 13, request to adopt a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Public Safety for the e-ticket system. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Discussion.
Okay, second for discussion.
I'll second that.
Thought.
Jason's here.
There he is.
Chief Gang.
Excellent.
That's the e-ticket system.
I was wondering, yeah.
It's, it prints out, ticket right there on the spot. No cost involved with it. EPS wireless grant pays for the equipment, which is, that's $2,000. Works off like your wireless cell phone, whatever. And you do it a year at a time. It's not something this permanent, it's just 1 year at a time. You have to vote in on a year. But there's no cost to the city.
And you can read them. You don't have to read all the scribblers correct.
I'm sorry?
You can read them. You can't.
That's
Scribblers
correct.
correct.
You can read it.
You can actually
You can actually read
We
it.
know who wrote you a ticket then, huh? Any other questions?
The only thing, when I was going through all the documentation, it struck me as odd that by joining the system that we actually now, all the data per PII for every ticket we write is now given to not only the state, but also the contractors that are working for the state or that's developing the system for free. So they have all the PII of every ticket holder's information that they can use for, they call it research and analysis. So my question is, it's diving into what are they doing with that data and why? Because like I said, nothing's free. So when like there's something that I don't understand how the system works.
But it's about me, because I don't know what to do with it either.
But that's kind of, when you look into MOA, there's some things that did not make sense in that regard. It might be a great system, but there's always a catch. And then it talks a lot about our judicial team having requirements. And that's what I was hoping if
They have those same requirements with paper
the
tickets.
current, so there's no additional overhead or equipment carved in. It's just, my only concern is where the data goes. And like I said, there's no control of it because once we sign up for this, that information, every part of that information you write a ticket for is now goes into.
Every ticket we write anyway goes to the Department of Public Safety.
It does, but these are private companies that now own this data that we're given freely without any, control.
Well, I'm not aware of that.
So that's what the MOA states.
Wait a second, that may be insurance companies.
It could be anything. Well, yeah. I just say, I think it's a quick, on the spot, that's good, but we have to be aware of what we relinquish in that aspect. And like I said, I don't know the consequences, but when you, that's to me, that's a
Jason, are y'all not the ones in the state doing this?
No, everyone does.
That's what I thought. Everybody does.
And what you're saying, Drew, is very concerning, but it sounds a lot like Facebook or any other app that a lot of us are using. Now, I will say the difference is I opt to use those apps, and I don't read the terms and conditions. I scroll past as fast as I can and start the app up, whereas this is not voluntary. So I do understand your concern, but at the same time, they already have all my information and they're selling it.
It is voluntary. You're going 45 and 35. It's not.
Absolutely.
That was your choice to push the pedal down.
So I guess, like I said, I don't know the the second, third order effects. I'm just saying that's something that we're signing up. So maybe we evaluate for a year. Like I said, we're not permanently giving it away. Just be aware though, everyone gets a ticket for this next year. Your information is being given freely to the companies who are voluntarily helping Mississippi, police department or whatever they, and that's how the data, that's how this is free to us. Like I said, I won't sound like Brad here. So anyway, that was my concern. Like I said, just we'll evaluate over a year, and like instant ticket sounds good, as long, especially if there's no overhead given to our judicial team, and Judge Reed is fine with that, Michelle. And then we'll evaluate after a year.
Well, you've now made the list.
I know.
They're listening in.
I'm gonna be pulling out, and my information is gonna be the first one on the ticket.
My motion stands.
You will let him get home. Don't pull him over for tickets or anything.
Thank you.
Anyway, no, I appreciate that, Drew. Very, very on point. We got a motion and a second.
We have a motion and a second.
Is all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. C, that is number 14, request to donate 2 surplus field chalk markers to the Petal Girls Softball Association. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Already all in favor?
Aye.
Number 15, request to dispose of
Miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous easy tradition.
miscellaneous broken items in the recreation department. I know you didn't do that, Josh. I know that was probably here at City Hall. So, is there a is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I'll second.
What miscellaneous items?
2 broken ice machines.
Was
Okay.
there something else?
On the notes, it's only those 2.
Yeah, I can go down,
ice
yeah.
machines.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Number 16 and number 17. We'll need to see the need for an executive session, but if y'all would, can we come back to those and go ahead and handle the seminars and travel
Yeah, I don't have fun.
and do the request for Craig Locke to attend CIT International Conference in Phoenix, Arizona. Total cost $184. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
How in the world for $184?
Can you go to Phoenix?
Somebody
Sorry?
said something.
$184?
Greg is kind of like the leader in there.
That's pretty cheap.
They pay a lot of that for him.
Ah.
Travel expense of that right there.
Okay, that's part of the training we have. It's one thing to get good personnel, and it's another thing to make sure they have the
We're fortunate
resources
enough
and
to have
training.
someone who is like an instructor.
And also, we need to remember Craig, his dad passed away.
Oh.
Jason, the CIT, that's crisis intervention team, right?
That's correct.
Do we, how many officers do we have trained in our police department with that? I know,
That's every one. When they come in, we go through, when a class pops up, we'll send that officer to that class. As soon as it is made available to the officer. I don't know if being yet. Some of the guys, every police department does it, in the sheriff's departments, city cops, everything. So sometimes we get an officer from another agency, he's already got the training. And it's an ongoing training, it's not something you just do it once and it's done. It's constantly updated.
yeah, this is the 40-hour training that we do, that is, use the Memphis style, Memphis technique.
So, pretty intense, so they do it over way.
It's always good to have officers who can train others, so that makes it, like I said, train the trainer, so good. We can keep the people like that, that's what we want to keep.
Save money.
For $184, you must be riding the bike out there. That's cheap.
All righty, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That, I would like, well, let's go ahead and take care of the public comments if you don't mind, then we can come back and handle those other 2 things in executive session. We've got a couple people that have signed the list. Looks like there's a Keely Morgan.
Peter?
Yeah, come on up here. What's going on?
Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm great, and y'all?
Very well.
I just wanted to come, and I also have Dr. Kutcher with me. He is a part of the trauma, acute care surgery, and critical care team at the University Medical Mississippi University Medical Center. And I was asked back in May to be a part of a community advisory committee by one of my relatives in healthcare. They're doing a study, and it's called the Cold Storage Platelet Early Intervention in Hemorrhage Shock, or CRIS HS study. And they are planning to start this study in October, right? Okay, so they really just want to get some feedback from the community, and since I'm located here in Petal, I asked him if he would come down to speak with you guys briefly about it.
Yeah, come on up, Dr. Goodman.
Thank you very much. Well, hey, Mr. Mayor, thanks for having me. Board of Aldermen, it's really nice to get out of the community a little bit. I'm one of the trauma surgeons at the University of Mississippi Medical Center in Jackson. And we're in the public disclosure part of a study which is funded by the Department of Defense and run out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, along with 5 other trauma centers across the country. And in this time of sort of blood shortage, what we're really looking at is using an older but subsequently kind of abandoned way to store platelets, which are kind of the most difficult to get and the shortest half-life blood product that we have that we transfuse to people when they come to our trauma center with massive bleeding. The point of the study is to test whether we can store platelets in the fridge, essentially, compared to out on the counter. It's sort of like milk at home, essentially. You know, obviously you can store milk in the fridge for much longer than you can out on the counter, but in the 70s and 80s, the blood banking industry made a decision to store platelets all out on the counter for a number of reasons. But we actually think for stopping bleeding that cold stored platelets are better. Their half-life is also longer, so you can keep them on the shelf for up to 14 days. If you store them on the counter, they're really only good for 5 days. So this is really a study that we're trying to do to address our ability to treat massive bleeding and also see whether we can extend the ability to store platelets. And that's something that can go on helicopters across the state and can be brought to smaller rural hospitals, which can't really keep platelets around for patients who come in with major bleeding. So the way the study is done is we have a process of public disclosure and community consultation. We've put some stuff out to the paper. UMC has Facebook posts and stories about the study. And the goal is to let the communities know that might be effective, because the way the FDA has the study run, you can't really consent somebody who has bleeding, which is life-threatening. You can't really just put a finger on it and be like, well, let me go get my clipboard and the usual 10-page consent and go through and talk about risks and benefits. So in this case, the way the study is run, based on FDA rules, is called exception for informed consent. So anybody who came to our trauma center from anywhere in our catchment area who had major hemorrhagic bleeding would be enrolled in the study and either receive this cold stored platelets, which is technically an experimental product, although it's not like a new medication or something that's untested, compared to just our regular standard of care. And then after that patient was treated, we would follow their data for the remainder of their hospital stay and ask for their consent as soon as we can identify somebody in their family who could reasonably consent for them, or until such time as we could actually speak with a person not sort of under duress. And if they don't want to be involved in the study, we just throw all their data away. The risk is low, the benefit is potentially high, but it's a study where we would be treating people without, full consent ahead of time. It's just because it's really impossible to study major bleeding any other way. This is part of that effort.
Is this a blood alternative or a blood derivative?
It's a blood derivative, so it's platelets. Usually when people donate blood, it's 3 different blood products: the red stuff, red cells, plasma, and platelets. Platelets are the most important for clot formation. So usually platelets are donated and then stored at room temperature for 5 days. And in this case, we would have Mississippi Blood Services basically take the platelets that are donated, have them cooled within 4 hours, and then use that as the product we would give to people.
So really the only thing that you're changing is the temperature and storage.
Just for clarification, I saw the survey online. Do we know what the kind of, right now, the current status of that survey? Has it been positive, negative? I mean, other people have submitted results of that survey.
We don't have the results yet. Those results are actually tallied and presented to the Department of Defense that has to review the study. And if there's enough folks in communities that are involved who feel like it's not a good idea, then the Department of Defense may select sites to not participate in the study or to not move forward with the study at all. So we don't actually get a chance to look at that data until the progress report is all packaged for the Department of Defense.
So really, I mean, you had the POD, but it's going to be their decision if we have this experiment or this here in the greater Hattiesburg area. Mm-hmm. And when will we know if we're selected or not?
Should be probably about August or September. And that's when we would know definitively the study is scheduled to start in October. It really depends on when the DoD approves the study. So if they take a little bit longer, then we'll start whenever we have approval to start.
I can see a local use in this, but a field use for DOD. As my dad was out in the field for years, 20 years. That's gonna be a hard use, they're gonna have to have something on the equipment to chill it and bring it back down to a body temperature.
Yeah,
All right.
a lot of it is a supply line issue. So things like plasma can be freeze dried and resuspended in the field. Red blood cells are usually stored refrigerated, but can be collected kind of at the point of care. It's a little harder to harvest platelets because you have to use a longer process than just going to a blood center and donating 45 minutes.
Right.
Many platelets take like 2 hours. So because there's not an easy way to get them, potential solution that DoD's look at has been making them with like a synthetic technology, which is pretty cool, but not quite there yet. Or just taking the supply that we have and kind of prolonging the amount of time you can store it. So.
Doctor, just a follow-up. So right now, they're still collecting whether we'll actually do it within this area. And they're collecting that information only by the survey, because I did the survey once a while back. So, I mean, like literally, if they get enough people say no or enough people say yes, then they'll go back. So I guess, are you here to ask us to basically let us know it's a potential and go do the survey? And where is the survey currently online? Is it at the Fort General, or is it on site you want us to go to?
Yeah, so there's a survey on the website, which is it's at www.litesnetwork.org, lightsnetwork.org.
Okay, we'll get that afterwards.
You got that?
Yeah, and I'm happy to talk to anybody about this and get this a little bit more specific. But and then it's /CRISP-HS, CRISP-HS, and there is a little bit more of an explanation about the study. There's actually a video about the study. And then there is a link to a survey that anybody can fill out, which we sent around through public safety networks and then also have online through UMC. So the goal is to get as many people to comment about it, both positive and negative as possible. But filling out the survey is that's the prime way that we have to give feedback to the DoD about whether this is an appropriate study to do here in our states.
What's your recommendation?
I recommend that we do it. I cannot tell you the struggles we've had with inadequate supply of blood products at UMC, and it's really all over the country. A lot of it's been related to COVID and shutdowns and fewer blood products being donated, but platelets are the first thing we run out of, and they're probably the most effective hemostatic or anti-bleeding agent we have. The next study that's funded by the DoD, which we're hoping to also be able to do, sort of we think this study would be a study of just whole blood instead of separated into components. The way it's used in the military a lot of times is fresh whole blood. And that's, to talk to military trauma surgeons, they would suggest that that's magical. And we just don't have access to that in the civilian world in all centers yet, but we're hoping that in the next couple of years, we'll be able to take part in that study too.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
for your
tonight.
work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Already got Mike. Yeah. Say your last name for me, Mike.
Zaleski,
Oh, okay.
sorry,
Spell it for me if you don't mind.
I'm sorry,
Spell your last name.
sure, ZALES, as in Sam, KI.
Thank you.
Hey, what's going on?
I own Total Foot Care Clinic here in 123
Oh,
South
yeah, I
Main.
thought I knew the name.
Yeah, I'm retired now, I'm a doctor. And we had a water main break February, I think, 12th, when it froze. And my doc was out of town for a week. We didn't know. We're usually back here several times during the week. And it flooded for 6 days.
Oh, wow.
We came back.
You had a nice water bill, didn't you?
What's that?
You had a nice water bill.
Yeah, I did. So my manager has been calling and working with you all. I don't know what part of your staff, but she's been working with you all since then on what we should pay. And they said, well, it'll be forgiveness, a one-time forgiveness. So I think the issue was there was a one-time forgiveness for the February bill, but it was over 6 days. I think it transferred
Leaked over into the next month.
We can fix that.
Two high bills, the ordinance says that we only adjust 1 month's billing regardless of how long the leak is. So I told Angel they'll have to come to y'all because we've already gave them one adjustment on the bigger bill.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
How much was the two bills combined? I'm just curious.
I'm actually got this information today.
A lot.
She-
Okay.
Well, the one bill just the water was $253. That's the one we adjusted, 240 off of the water and 114 off of his sewer. But then their next month's bill was 187.25 in water and 114 in sewer. So it was a total of 345.11. Their
How
bill
does
was
the-
normally like 77.93.
If there's a water leak, how's the sewer going up?
Because he's commercial,
Okay,
so commercial is based on the water usage.
gotcha.
So if I may, we were instructed, thankfully from you all, not to do anything until we get billed, and to get back billed, not to be billed the late fees, but to just pay each month. We weren't even there for 3 months, but we paid each month accordingly. And then we got the last bill, we paid again for July, $77.93, which was the monthly bill that we're supposed to pay. But the bill was for, I think she mentioned this today, $399.69. We paid the $77.93, which took it to $321.76. But as you can see, the $187.25 was the last portion of the bill that we didn't pay, and then the rest of it's late fee. So if I can get, I don't know if you don't want this or.
He had 51.77 in late fees on that April bill.
Okay, well,
Because the March bill we adjusted, and I adjusted late fees off of that March bill for the water part. I don't know, I don't have your payment schedule here, but I adjusted that off. So it's the April bill and then April late fees that they want a second adjustment.
So they have made I don't know if it's a minimum payment, but they've made
Yeah,
the payments consistently.
as far as I know.
So I guess if
Yeah.
there is a motion to just make this, since it's a one-time leak that bled over into 2 months,
Just kind of zero out.
to make it
I'll make it
right,
I'll
whatever,
make it
whatever,
the
and let the
or-
water department figure out what that number is.
Yeah.
Let me just ask a question.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
the current ordinance or current policy we're using right now is that only
1
1
month's
month for the lifetime of that resident or for that event.
Yes.
Even if it is a city issue.
No, if it's a
City
city, no, if it's
issue.
a city
Okay,
issue,
okay,
we
so
just
it's-
adjust it.
Yeah.
on their side.
If it's on their side, they on their then it's one time.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're asking variance for that policy.
Yeah.
Specific to the address.
And state law allows us to do it as long as we can deem as a
Water, yeah,
board
didn't
that
use
the water
that
wasn't
water.
being
Okay.
used.
Because of the way it fell on the county.
And there are a lot of water utilities, I know we get roughed up for high water, but there are some water utilities that give you no abilities, but obviously we're not talking about that, we're talking about us and everything. So typically in the past, we've just said, hey, it was really one incident, and we might need to change the wording. I think when I actually got into office, I don't know if Craig was still here, they used to not
Yeah,
give.
we usually didn't
And
adjust
then
water
we
at all.
just said, hey, that was one of the issues
But
back
sewer,
then. So
but
let's-
sewer was metered then, and we adjusted sewer, but we didn't adjust water. So we got the ruling stating that if we could prove they didn't get use of the water, then we could adjust water.
Is there a motion and
I'm
a
a
second?
motion.
Another, okay, motion, second, all in favor?
You're good.
oh,
Yeah, just check with Melissa or Angel down in
Yeah.
the water department. She should be able to get you squared away.
thank you all very much for
Maybe
your time.
later tomorrow, but
Sure, I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much for always working with us as well. We just try to do what we were supposed to do.
And we appreciate
Awesome.
that.
I appreciate your help. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
Already got Emily. Hey, yeah, come on up here. Hey, how you pronounce your last name?
Escolas.
Spell that for me, please.
I got
E
this
is
one.
in Echo, S is in Sam. I do this on the phone all the time. E is in Echo, S is in Sam, C is in Cat, O-L-A, S is in Sam.
Which,
Escolas.
Emily, where do you live at?
Well, I actually am just a visitor. I don't live in Petal.
Oh, okay.
I'm just visiting my parents, but they've lived here 11 years and I've been visiting on and off for 11 years.
Yeah.
Happy to be here. Nice to see everybody and thanks for having me.
Go ahead, what's going on?
Well, I've had 3 different dogs now come up with growths and just really looking gnarly, even just really horrible growths. And the first dog, I said, oh my God, you have to change the water. Something in that water. You guys don't give them the tap water. And the vet, I mean, they were just giving them pills after pills and But changing that water did change things for the dog's skin. I'm just proposing a theory and a concern as a person that's visiting, and maybe there's some things that aren't fully being looked at that need to here or something. Okay, but so 3 different dogs have all had growths now, and once we started filtering that water, some things got better without the medication or anything like that. So then 2 different dogs, and several years later, we're having the same issue, and I posted it on the Uncensored Petal page. All right, because I think I'm maybe needing some censorship or something. I didn't get in quite quick enough to the other one. Thank God. It's very serious. Well, so I posted a good video of the female dog looking like she has some testicle, growth. It's crazy. And then so people either were like, you know what, I drink the tap water and it's fine and I have no concern. But then other half of the people were like, I've had dogs with cancer too. Boom, all of a sudden, my theory is gaining a little more like backing, maybe all dogs just get cancer. Maybe, it's one theory. But I'm looking at the Barrontown 2021 report, guys.
Hey, Emily, let me ask you, what's the address of the?
Parents, we're parents.
Because that's gonna help us out a little bit.
Okay, they are at Trussell Road, 423. Trussell. Petal.
That's very near me, by the way.
Well, I'm bringing up something that's very near to your your water source, my friend.
We filter our water.
Amen. Me too. So I have my parents put filters on the shower. I recommend everybody do that no matter what, because you're, as you're kind of off-gassing chloroform gas in your shower with chlorine and lung, right? But so I'm looking at Barrontown, okay? And their 2021 report lists 5 things that they actually tested for. And then it listed several other things that they are no longer required to test for. And they haven't tested for since 2016.
And Emily, can I help you out?
Please.
We
help me
actually
understand.
have no authority over them whatsoever.
Really?
Mhm.
Well, okay. Dang it.
Well, they don't like
Barrontown's water supply?
Barrontown. But see, we first were over in Reese Creek, different water supply. And then I've had other Hattiesburg residents say, we have to give our dogs bottled water because they're coming up with some stuff in Hattiesburg. So I'm looking at an area potential contamination issue that this doesn't even check for mercury, you guys.
If we can, just for a legal matter, if you want to, we're fixing to have to go in. You can stick around and talk to us in a private session. But obviously, since we have no legal control over them, you see the legal implications of us getting in here, and all of a sudden we're going to start talking.
And you live there. That's crazy.
My
I know.
phone may ring here in a few minutes, but
You're
anyway,
a
Braxton, I'd like
yeah.
to talk to you for a few minutes if we can.
Okay.
And I want to see if there is a motion to see if we need the need for an executive session.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? If y'all could, that's pretty much concludes the meeting. We'll talk to Emily for a few more seconds. We got a personnel matter to handle and then another potential legal matter that we're going to handle.
We all use the same document.